really crucial position of your season, and kind of what are you trying to do with the time?
All practice time is beneficial to your group. You certainly don't want to overdo it this time of year. You know, to me, and when you have 3 days like this late in the year, you recharge with an off day. You get enough live work to just keep a rhythm, and you work on some things that you're not normally able to work on. So we had a really productive day with our film session and with the on-court work that we did. And tomorrow will be lighter, no contact, but still productive, and hopefully that benefits us down the stretch.
Will AD be able to do non-contact stuff with you at this point? Is he able to?
Not yet.
What was the level of involvement for LeBron, Taylor, I guess
Yeah.
Kendrick, but maybe not?
Yeah, Kendrick didn't do anything. LeBron, we kept off his feet today, and Talon as well.
What are you anticipating for both of those guys for Sunday?
Which guys?
LeBron and Taylor.
LeBron and Talon, day to day.
Okay.
Yeah. We're hopeful that they're both available, but we won't make that decision until obviously game day.
Just looking back a little bit, Frank, when Anthony went out, right? Obviously, right now you guys aren't where you'd ideally be, but you're still in the race for the postseason. When Anthony went out, LeBron kind of the first time with the MCL, LeBron went on that scoring streak.
Yep.
Where did that kind of come from, and where would you be without it?
Well, I think it came from, obviously a large part of it came from him playing center, which came as a result of losing the first few games that that Anthony was out, playing the bigger lineups. With our starting group was not productive, and so we shifted to look at him at center, and that's really during that stretch is where we saw how productive he can be there. But also, you put a few losses on LeBron James, he's going to raise his level. You know what I mean? And to his credit, he's stayed in that rhythm. Even when we played bigger lineups, and hopefully we can keep it going down the stretch.
You guys have bigger goals than this, but it's time here we start talking about individual accolades and stuff like that. How do you kind of view the season LeBron's had in terms of MVP consideration, in terms of All-NBA consideration? Just how good has he been? And even if the overall win-loss record hasn't necessarily reflected.
He is as deserving for MVP consideration as anybody in the league. Now, I know how the voting goes. The team with the best record or top couple of records usually gets most of those considerations. So the win-loss record definitely would probably hurt him. But you can't tell me that anybody's played a better season than LeBron James has this year.
With Russ and his efficiency improving, I think he's scored 20 points and 8 assists in 4 straight games, just the longest streak that you had out of him this year. How has his ability to kind of play out of post-ups recently changed, or have you guys changed something around him that's helping him read those situations?
Yeah, well, we're getting him more live catches, and we've shifted our post spacing around midway through the season to just open up the lane, to try to keep our turnovers down and give our post players, both LeBron, Melo, and obviously Russ, just more space to go to work. I think that may have had a slight impact, but I think more than those things, I think Russ is just settling into a rhythm. It's a new team. He had his struggles early in the season. We felt like he would get stronger each month, and we're seeing that so far. And I think we're poised for a heck of a stretch run.
Any other questions in the room? All right, we'll go to Bill and his hands on chat on Zoom.
Hey Frank, I'm on Zoom.
Wait, are you live or are you on Zoom?
Taped.
This is actually taped delay.
Got it.
I am just wondering about Kendrick. At this point in the season with 9 games left, you say he's not doing anything. What is the reason for not just ruling him out for the year at this point?
That's a good question. I haven't circled back with a recent update on that. Other than to know that he's trying to. I'm not sure when the next MRI is, but the intent is for him to to continue to ramp up activity to where his imaging is coming back clean. And I think there's been some improvements, but not enough to see him back in practice.
Next, we go to Jordan.
Hey, Coach, you guys are making a lot of strides in the right direction. You talked about spacing. Just wanted to, talk to you about how players are starting to play off of each other. Last game, Stanley had 8 assists just off of, diving when he dives to the rim, like, Dwight Howard come in, fill in, and then players are really playing off of each other really well, like Wayne doing a lot of diving, and then also when Russ gets into the paint, just getting into that corner three. Just wanted to ask you about that with the spacing and how everybody's starting to play really well off of each other now.
Yeah, I'm extremely pleased with it. We've had 25 assists, 4 consecutive games, 2 games where we had 33 and 34. And, when you have a season like we've had where you have a lot of new faces and combining with that a lot of injuries, it takes a while for a group to gel and to become a team, and that's the most encouraging thing for me is I feel like, in terms of these offensive principles and playing through the next man and trusting the next man offensively, it looks like we are becoming a team, So again, while it's been an imperfect season, we continue to be hopeful that we can make a splash down the stretch here.
Frank, in prep for Sunday's game, if you look back at the game, I imagine you have it, at the game you guys played just after the All-Star break against the Pelicans, where they won by a wide margin, and do you remind your team of what the result of that game was, and can you glean anything from what happened in that one to try to apply to this one?
Oh yeah, there's lessons in every game. We will remind our guys, how they embarrassed us, and but more than all of those things, the postseason push is the greatest motivator for us. More than any, a payback message or anything like that. There's San Antonio is winning games. They're right on our heels, and obviously, we want to beat New Orleans in both of these 2 matchups that we have coming up against them. Because of obviously, if that ends up being the 9-10 matchup, where's the game going to be? But again, the bigger motivator, the biggest motivator for us, down the stretch here for these final, I believe 9 games is how are we playing? Are we playing winning basketball? And are we improving our habits well enough to win? Whether it's a playing game or if we're able to get through the playing games. To win in the first round. So, the habits are the biggest motivator, and there's been some really encouraging signs, with how we played. A minute ago we were talking about the assist nature of our offense of late, and I just love the competitive spirit and fight we've shown in the last few games. That hasn't been there enough for us throughout the course of the season. I think we're getting a burst from some of our young guys with how LeBron is playing, how Russ is coming around. And obviously Anthony Davis is a difference maker. So how we play down the stretch, building those habits that are going to win for us in the postseason are the biggest motivator for us.
I think there's a conceit about really competitive teams that they can kind of look at each other and say, we got to get this game, and we got to win this one. When you think about the potential 2 single elimination games to get to the 7-game series, do you kind of believe that that's a quality that teams can have, and what are you looking for down the stretch of the regular season to make sure that your guys are kind of developing that instinct?
Yeah, well, obviously the Pelicans have that same mindset. San Antonio has that same mindset, and I actually think the urgency that comes with those types of games benefits your group. And hopefully that'll be the case as we compete through these games.